In this video, we'll uncover the stories of the 10 most fearsome monsters in Greek mythology. Learn about their incredible powers, the destruction they caused. Join us on a thrilling journey into the darker, more dangerous side of Hellenic legends. The Chimera stands as the first of the terrifying monsters in this ancient series of legends. A hybrid creature of pure horror, it combined the fierce head of a lion, the body of a goat, and a serpent's venomous tail. What made it even more fearsome was its ability to breathe fire, leaving destruction in its wake. The Chimera terrorized the lands until the brave hero Bellerophon accepted the challenge to confront it. Riding the majestic winged horse Pegasus, he soared above the monster, evading its fiery attacks. With a spear tipped with lead, Bellerophon struck the beast, the intense heat melting the lead and suffocating the Chimera. This legendary fight signified victory. The Lernaean Hydra, a terrifying multi-headed serpent, was one of the deadliest creatures ever encountered by heroes. Each of its 9 heads, when severed, grew back 2 in its place, making it nearly invincible. The beast dwelled in the swamps of Lerna, spreading fear with its poisonous breath and venomous bites. Hercules, tasked with slaying the Hydra as one of his 12 labors, set out to confront it. Armed with his sword, he struck at the creature's heads, but each time he cut one off, 2 more appeared. Realizing that brute force wouldn't work, Hercules devised a clever strategy. He called upon his nephew Iolaus for help. As Hercules chopped off a head, Iolaus used a torch to cauterize the wound, preventing the heads from regenerating. After a fierce struggle, Hercules defeated the Hydra's immortal central head by crushing it with a large rock. With the Hydra slain, Hercules dipped his arrows in Hydra's venom, creating powerful weapons. The Minotaur, a monstrous creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull, lived in the Labyrinth of Crete. This beast was born from a curse and demanded regular sacrifices from Athens' young men and women to be fed to it. Teseo, the brave prince of Athens, decided to end the terror. Volunteering as one of the sacrifices, he made a plan to slay the creature and return victorious. When he arrived in Crete, Teseo met Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos. She fell in love with him and, eager to help, gave him a ball of thread. She instructed him to tie one end at the entrance of the labyrinth and unwind it as he ventured deeper, so he could find his way back. Teseo entered the labyrinth, the thread guiding him through the maze. He eventually encountered the Minotaur. With great courage and skill, he defeated the creature. Using the thread, Teseo retraced his steps and escaped, bringing an end to the monster's reign of terror and returning to Athens a hero. Medusa, once a beautiful maiden, was renowned for her stunning beauty, especially her long, golden hair. However, her life took a tragic turn when Poseidon, the god of the sea, pursued her. In an act of violence, he took advantage of Medusa within Athena's temple. Angered by this desecration of her sacred space, Athena punished Medusa, transforming her into a terrifying Gorgon. Her once beautiful hair became a mass of writhing snakes, and her gaze turned deadly, capable of turning anyone who looked directly into her eyes to stone. Years later, the hero Perseus was sent on a dangerous quest to slay Medusa. Perseus ventured to the Gorgon's lair. To avoid looking directly at Medusa and turning to stone, he used the shield as a mirror. Watching her reflection, he was able to approach her while she slept and swiftly behead her. Perseus then used Medusa's head as a powerful weapon, turning enemies into stone, and ultimately saving the day in various heroic feats. Cerberus, the 3-headed dog, was a fearsome guardian of the Underworld, tasked with keeping the dead from escaping and preventing the living from entering. With his monstrous heads, each one fierce and unyielding, Cerberus ensured no soul could slip past him into the world of the living. His serpentine tail and the terrifying bark that echoed through the underworld only added to his fearsome reputation. As part of his 12 labors, Hercules was ordered to capture Cerberus alive and bring him to King Eurystheus. To accomplish this nearly impossible task, Hercules ventured into the underworld, with the help of the gods. Upon arriving, he found Cerberus guarding the gates of Hades. The dog, though terrifying, was not invincible. Hercules subdued Cerberus without harming him. With the help of his great courage and physical prowess, the sight of the mighty 3-headed dog proved that even the most impossible challenges could be overcome by Hercules' strength and determination. Scylla, a terrifying sea monster, was known for her multiple heads and insatiable hunger. She dwelled in a narrow strait between Italy and Sicily, where she posed a deadly threat to sailors. Each of her 12 legs ended in a fearsome mouth, with rows of sharp teeth ready to devour anyone who ventured too close. Scylla's monstrous form, with her heads reaching out from the cliffs. According to some myths, she was once a beautiful sea nymph, loved by Poseidon. However, when the god of the sea's advances were spurned, his rival, Glaucus, sought the help of the sorceress Circe. In her jealousy, Circe transformed Scylla into the hideous creature she became, causing her to live in a rocky cave where she would attack passing ships. Scylla terrorized the waters alongside Charybdis, a swirling whirlpool that threatened to swallow entire ships. Together, they created a perilous passage, which many sailors dreaded, unsure whether to face the jaws of Scylla or the devastating whirlpool. Charybdis, a fearsome sea monster, was a giant whirlpool that devoured everything in its path. Once a beautiful nymph, Charybdis had angered Zeus by flooding the land with water to claim it as her own. In response, Zeus transformed her into a monstrous whirlpool, forever bound to the waters near the Strait of Messina. Every day, she would swallow the sea, creating a violent vortex that could drag entire ships and their crews to a watery grave. Charybdis was a constant threat to sailors who ventured too close to the dangerous strait. They faced a dire choice: they could either sail near Scylla, the six-headed monster, or risk being swallowed by Charybdis' deadly whirlpool. In the epic tale of the Odyssey, Odysseus faced this perilous dilemma when navigating through the strait. He chose to sail closer to Scylla, losing some of his men to the monster's jaws, rather than risk being entirely consumed by Charybdis. Charybdis' endless hunger for the sea made her one of the most feared creatures in the ancient world. Typhon, the most fearsome and colossal monster in ancient lore, was a creature of unimaginable power. Born from Gaia, the earth, and Tartarus, the abyss, Typhon was a towering, serpentine giant with hundreds of dragon heads and a body that stretched across the sky. Each head emitted terrifying sounds, from roaring flames to venomous breaths. Typhon's greatest challenge came when he sought to overthrow Zeus and claim dominion over the cosmos. In a fierce and epic battle, Typhon confronted the king of the gods, causing chaos and destruction throughout the heavens. Zeus fought valiantly, unleashing thunderbolts and summoning storms, but Typhon's strength was overwhelming. He even managed to wound Zeus, causing him to retreat momentarily. Ultimately, Zeus triumphed, using his mighty thunderbolts to strike Typhon down. The monster was cast into Tartarus, where he remained imprisoned beneath the earth, a constant reminder of the fierce battle for supremacy in the ancient world. The Sirens were enchanting yet deadly creatures whose beautiful songs lured sailors to their doom. With the bodies of birds and the heads of women, these creatures lived on rocky islands, waiting for passing ships to fall under their spell. Their haunting melodies promised untold pleasures, drawing ships closer until they crashed into the jagged rocks. In Homer's Odyssey, the hero Odysseus and his crew encountered the Sirens during their voyage. Forewarned by the sorceress Circe, Odysseus was determined to resist their irresistible call. He ordered his men to plug their ears with beeswax so they couldn't hear the siren song. However, curious to hear the music himself, Odysseus had himself tied to the mast of the ship, instructing his men to sail on, no matter how much he begged to be freed. As the ship sailed past the Sirens' island, Odysseus was tortured by their song, but his men obeyed his earlier command, ensuring their escape. The Sirens' deadly allure was thwarted, and Odysseus continued his journey home. The Nemean lion was a terrifying creature, feared for its invincibility. With a golden, impenetrable hide and razor-sharp claws, the beast terrorized the land of Nemean. No weapon could pierce its thick fur, and it seemed unstoppable. The lion was so powerful that it killed anyone who dared to approach it. The first of Hercules' 12 labors was to slay this mighty beast. Armed with his strength and cunning, Hercules ventured into the dense forest where the lion roamed. Realizing that no weapon could harm the lion, Hercules used his immense strength to wrestle it into submission. After a fierce battle, he strangled the lion with his bare hands, finally killing it. To prove his victory, Hercules skinned the lion and wore its hide as armor, which became famous for its invulnerability. The Nemean lion's defeat marked the beginning of Hercules' heroic journey, showcasing his extraordinary strength and resourcefulness in the face of seemingly unbeatable foes.